Hello and welcome to this Fotospeed video with me, Tim Jones. Hopefully looking a little bit better after my positive test for COVID last week and things. So, feeling a little bit brighter this week, shall we say. So, today what I'm going to be talking about is not so much about printing, but it's about how we view our prints and how important it is to get the right lighting conditions to view our prints. So before we get started, please don't forget to subscribe to the Fotospeed YouTube channel. Just click that subscribe button in the bottom right down there. So that'll keep you up to date with all the videos we release every Thursday. And also stick around to the end of the video because I've got a discount code that you can use for 15% off on Fotospeed papers. Also, I will have an extra voucher code as well because we're going to be looking at some viewing lights and we've got a discount on one of our desktop viewing lights, actually, you can see up here. But I will talk about that more in a little while. Okay, so why is lighting conditions for our prints so important? Now, I always think it's one of the things we don't really think about. We're so wrapped up in almost the exciting things about printing, like the paper choice, the color management, the editing we can do in the computer, and kind of, well, I'd say the exciting things, like I said, it's kind of the glamorous things, shall we say. But the lighting of a print can also make or break. We've done all the hard work. We've done our color management. We've got our custom profiles in our printer, we've got our monitors calibrated as well, and we've painstakingly edited our picture as well to our liking. We've done our soft proofing, we've done our hard proofing, we've produced this wonderful print, or a print we think is going to be wonderful, shall we say, and we've printed it out, but it still doesn't look quite right for us. Now, it's worth bearing in mind that lighting conditions are going to affect how your print looks. If we look at a print in daylight, it will look very different to if we look at it under kind of tungsten lighting that most households have now. Now, if you've ever been to an exhibition on photography or art or just anything really within a gallery situation, then you will have probably noticed they have quite strong lights, probably from the ceiling as well. And they are all daylight balanced or balanced to the artist's specification as well. Each artist will go and look at the work, and in some instances as well, in the bigger galleries like the Tate here in Britain or the MoMA in the US, then they will also have controls to be able to change the color temperature of these lights as well, because that is what is important when we're talking about viewing prints, is the color temperature of the lights we're viewing it under. Our normal kind of tungsten bulbs that we have mostly in our houses now, most of us, they will give a certain warmer color temperature to if we view it in daylight, or if we have a purpose-built light, a bit like our lights here that we sell. So it's really important to view in the correct conditions as well. Now, traditionally, we want to kind of view a print within daylight. So we want to kind of view a print in what we call daylight viewing. Now, daylight can range as well. So some people will say it's 5,200, some people will say it's more like 6,000, and it's kind of what part of the day you measure at as well, because daylight is not constant. In the morning, it's a certain color temperature, and in the evening, it's a different color temperature as well. And also cloud cover, etc. and things will kind of affect kind of what color temperature. So it normally ranges from 5,000 to say 6,500, depending on what time of day. So we normally plump for in the middle, which is around 5,600. And that is what our kind of viewing lights are calibrated to. And that also give you a good starting point to view prints under, but it will also give you a good consistency when viewing your prints as well. And also if you're a mono printer or black and white printer, then that will generally give you the best light, so you can see if there's any color casts going on in your black and white and things like that. So what I thought I'd do in this video is we'd have a look at different lighting conditions, and just to see what actually different lighting conditions can do to our print. So it's a nice bright day actually today. The weather's been quite good this week. So I'm going to look at a print in daylight and see it's about 11:30 at the moment. So usually I say a good time is between 11:30 and 2:30. That's kind of a good time to view prints out of your window, because we can be a little bit cooler in the morning and a little bit warmer in the afternoon. So it's a good day. There's a bit of cloud cover as well, so that's always helps as well, because it can diffuse that light a little bit. But also I want to have a look at kind of tungsten lights as well. So I'm going to shut all the blinds up here in my studio, and then we're going to kind of have a look under tungsten lighting, or my normal room lighting, to see how that can affect us. I'm expecting the prints to come out a bit warmer when I do that. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of our Kaiser desktop viewing lights here, which is what we recommend kind of to view prints. It's a great device, a really nice light as well to have on your desk. It's quite small. Now, Sam Gregory has done a fantastic video running down all the specs and all the features of this light. I'll put a link up in the corner just so you can have a click and have a look at that video as well. And he recommends different setups and things like that as well. But I'm not going to go into kind of the specs and things today. All I am going to say is it's balanced to 5,600 Kelvin, so in the middle of that daylight range. So the light gives us a really consistent light source. It's an LED as well, so there's no fading or anything as well when we're looking under these lights. So they're a really great option. Like I said, I will have a discount code at the end of the video. So let's jump in and let's start at having a look at viewing conditions and what it actually means to our prints, and if I can see any difference as well. Now I'm going to go to the extreme on these kind of tests, because everyone watching is sat behind your screen, so I like to go to the extreme just so you can see it. I think you would see probably not as extreme results as I'm going to do today. There will be a slight change for you, especially in the colour images. In black and white, it's a little bit more black and white, I should say. You will see a colour cast and things in there. But hopefully I'll be able to show you on camera kind of what these differences make. Okay, so I've got everything printed out. I'm all set up to view some prints here. I've got my viewing light set up. Haven't got it on at the minute because I'm going to look at daylight viewing to start with. And I've got my big skylight here up in my studio here, so we can have a look and see what these look like under kind of normal kind of daylight at about 12 o'clock UK time. So a really nice time to have a look at some prints. So I just want to talk a little bit about the paper I've used. So I've used the Fotospeed Platinum Gloss Art Fibre for the kind of semi-gloss luster kind of type of paper. And I've also used the Platinum Etching as well for the matte paper on here. Now, I picked these two papers because I quite like them, to be honest, and they look really great as well. There's no other reason apart from that, to be honest. And the viewing is going to be the same on kind of whichever paper you use as well. I would say the Platinum Etching is slightly warmer, but apart from that, one's a matte paper, one's a kind of gloss, semi-gloss type of paper. So let's start by just having a look at the prints and just to see kind of how they look and do some comparisons as well. Now, like I said, I started with a colour image of this flower here. Now, under daylight, I mean, it looks absolutely fantastic. I would say it does look a little bit muted, shall we say, just under daylight conditions. Okay, but if I turn on my light now, just next to me, and I just pop it under and have a look, it just comes to life. There is certainly a bit more kind of going on in the picture when I look at it under here. Now I would say best practice is also to just have a light as well on the other side. So if you can afford it, one is absolutely brilliant. You just pop it under a bit like this, just under the light to have a look. But if you can have two and have a bit of a viewing booth, then it works absolutely fantastic. I've actually got one just over here, just coming in for me. Now, looks absolutely fantastic. I can actually see a little bit more detail under the right viewing conditions. When I look at it in daylight, like I said, going from that light being on and then back to daylight, you can just see it's a little bit flatter in here. Now on the matte paper, I kind of have the same thing going on. So it's a little bit flatter. There's not, you can see all the detail, but it's just not as vibrant as if I put this light on. Now I'm going to look at these under tungsten lights in a bit, but I want to just compare the daylight to the viewing light as well. I would say with the viewing light on, it's a lot closer than what you're seeing on the screen. So if you're ever having dark prints, get a good light and then have a look at it as well, because it's well worth it. Now, let's move on to black and white. This is where we can start to see a colour cast. So let's just start with the light on. And it's perfectly neutral, as I'd expect, because I've done a lovely custom profile in this, and it's kind of working really well. Now, there is a little bit of a difference in the tone of the picture, I would say. The platinum gloss art fibre seems a little bit more neutral. So both are printed with the Canon black and white mode. So they're both printed in exactly the same way. Both are perfectly neutral. The only difference is the white point of the platinum etching is just slightly warmer. So that's why we're seeing that change in there. But apart from that, fantastic prints. So under the light, they look great. I mean, they look fantastic. They look perfectly kind of exposed, shall we say, and printed. If I turn the light off, we do lose a little bit of detail in the shadows. We are relying on that light, and it does kind of, it just looks a little bit dull. So you may think they're a little bit dark when they're coming out the printer. And that could be, it could be that your screen's too bright, as I've talked about before, but it also could be that you're not really viewing them in the right lighting conditions. So that can change things as well. Let's compare these though to tungsten lighting. And I'm going to use our light here, and I'm going to just shut all the blinds up here in my studio, and then I'm going to put the lights on, and I'm going to try and keep the white balance of the camera the same as well. As I always do, just set it manually. So hopefully I should warm up a bit. I'll go probably a little bit darker as well, but also we should start to see this in the prints as well. And I'll do some comparisons. So let me just set this up and then we'll have a look and see. Okay, so a very quick change, just shut the blinds, put my ceiling spotlights on, which are kind of a warm LED kind of ambient light. Still got a couple of camera lights on as well, just so you can be able to see me, probably see all the shadows and things of all the lights I've got going on in here. Now, however, if I start to look at the prints again, obviously they are a little bit duller because obviously the lighting has come down quite a lot in here. The video lights are kind of helping with that a little bit, which is great. However, they are a lot warmer because of these lights going on in here. Now, if I turn on my light here, you see a massive kind of difference. We've got this lovely neutral print going on. We've got this lovely colour in here. If I turn it off, the white balance of the paper gets really warm. These lights are really kind of, although they're not particularly strong lights, they are affecting the white balance. And to me, if this print was coming out, I'd think it was almost a little bit muddy and horrible. Whereas with that light on, it's lovely and vibrant and it really stands off the page. And I think that's the difference. It just, when you're printing in the evening, perhaps you're just using your kind of ambient lights and things that are going on. You've got this lovely image on the screen, you print it off and it comes out quite muddy, especially with the black and whites. I mean, these look quite green to me. And when I put the light on, lovely and neutral. It's almost a magic trick, shall we say, between the two. They look absolutely fantastic. So good lighting really is the trick, I think, when you're viewing prints. And also kind of to help your printing as well, because you may be just chasing yourself round and round. I don't know if anyone out there has, but I have certainly been chasing my tail a little bit when I've been printing. Perhaps I'm printing in the evening and I just think, oh, I just print it and see, and you think, oh, that print looks absolutely horrible. Then you look at it the next day and it could be that you had a good night's sleep and you kind of refreshed yourself a little bit, but it also could be that the light's better. You're looking at it in the morning, say, when the light is a bit stronger, it's a bit lighter than you were looking in the evening at it. So you've got the lights off, you're looking at a window and things. So things are going to look better as well. So viewing and displaying under the correct lighting is so, so important. Well, I hope that's been useful. And as you can see, the viewing light that you're looking at your prints under can make a massive difference. I've kind of gone to the extreme there, so you'll be able to see it on the video, but you will see, not probably as extreme kind of examples of those, but you probably will see a difference between the prints as well, especially with tungsten and daylight and the viewing lights and kind of the orange lights that we have in our homes. Now, I can't recommend these viewing lights enough. Now, these viewing lights are available on the Fotospeed website, and they are the Kaiser LED viewing lights. So if you tap that in, but I usually put desktop viewing light in and it just comes up. Now, like I said at the start, I do have a voucher code for you, which is Kaiser20. Now that will give you 20% off these lights on the Fotospeed website. Now, I have to say, you do have to be logged in to use that code. Also, for all the North American customers out there, we've also now got a flat rate shipping to North America, which is $9. So hopefully that will help you order some paper as well. Also, I've got the discount code FSYouTube15, which will give you 15% off Fotospeed papers on photospeed.com. And also, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, really helps us. And I really like reading all your comments and things. Now, I apologize if I'm a little bit slow coming back to you in some cases. I do read them all and I will reply as and where I can and things. And I really do try my best to reply to everything. So please put comments below, I do read them. Any videos you would like to see or any suggestions or anything like that, that'd be amazing. A massive thank you for watching. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.